get to share this moment, this space, the movie, together with you. So we want to honor that moment. Please give yourselves a round of applause for supporting live music and art, for supporting this beautiful festival. This is how we stick together in tough times and in good times, right?
Witching Hour's goal is really to introduce people to new art, to encourage people to take risks with exploring art, and to just kind of explore the unknown and enjoy new work.
I think they're just trying to do something a little more strange than the, like I feel like Mission Creek's a little more mainstream. It does have like some sort of outlier bands, but Witching Hour, from what I can tell, is like kind of bringing in
sort of a broader cultural awareness.
Witching Hour launched in November of 2015, and it actually came about in June of that year, so it happened really quickly. We just got a paper one day in staff meeting and said we were starting our second festival, and then we were on our way. But it came out of several of the founders of Mission Creek Festival, and they wanted something that was kind of shorter, so it's only 2 days compared to Mission Creek's longer, week-long, and something a little bit more closer to the punk rock roots, where they could kind of just be a little bit more flexible and have fun and not necessarily book something that will bring a mass appeal necessarily, but something that is really kind of close to their artistic hearts, I guess.
There's a lot of things to choose from, so like the experience of it, I don't know. But I'm also a fan of just kind of going out there and seeing what weird stuff's up, so.
Witching Hour, like Mission Creek Festival, is curated by a small team of programmers representing organizations from around Iowa City. Mission Creek Festival, Feed Me Weird Things, Little Village Magazine, the Angler Theater, Seed Here, and more, film scene included. And they all kind of get together and talk about acts maybe they've seen at festivals around the year that feel very current to the conversation that's happening in Iowa City right now, something that speaks to the larger national conversation. People who are putting out new work, new interesting work, and really pushing the boundaries of their own kind of disciplines. So it all kind of just happens very organically in conversations over the summer, where we talk about topics that are of interest. Like during the Me Too movement, when that was rising, we really wanted to focus on something that talked about sexual consent. Our programming should be something that is kind of edgy and new and fresh, and maybe something that people haven't seen around here in Iowa City. So we're really trying to bring in art maybe that we see on the coast, and really trying to bring it here and bring in outside presenters while also uplifting a lot of local bands, presenters, and thinkers. So there's kind of a combination of sourcing of artists. But kind of an underlying theme this year when developing the program was what does a greater society look like, and how do we build a greater society? Curating the program really runs the gamut, and it maybe looks very random, but it's kind of all interconnected. And I think that learning about people who maybe have different perspectives than your own, and this voice of discontent that is really growing in America, I think it's important to look at that a little bit more closely and examine it, and examine why that is resonating with so many people right now, and kind of what that means for the future of our country.
We really need to vote this year, guys.
So at Witching Hour, there's going to be big topics, but also a lot of performances that I hope are fun and kind of give some levity.
They just hit me up with a message, and he's like, oh yeah, we'll do it. Sounds awesome. And then the band we're playing with that's from California, Here Lies Man, they're kind of like outliers in the fact that it's not necessarily mainstream music. Like, none of it's like you would see. It doesn't really get a lot of attention in the media. It just seems like as far as I know, I'm not involved in the festival besides us playing it, so they could
cool
probably
playing it, because it's
it
being part of it brings people from maybe a different context than rock and roll to come to our show, or at least to hear about us. So that's cool. I guess I was like maybe I don't know, you could describe it as some kind of a garage rock cosmic journey. You know, not Journey the band, but more of like a mind trip. You know what I mean? I mean, we each bring different elements of what we're into, and like I was saying before, we kind of do this kind of mind meld mystical thing inside this room and kind of stir the pot and see what comes out. But I don't know. I think garage rock is definitely
Yeah, garage rock's pretty easy. You know, pretty easy title to throw on it.
My dream for Witching Hour would be for it to become an annual tradition for creative Iowans, where every weekend creative people from all over the state and maybe eventually the Midwest could gather and just soak in culture that isn't found on network TV, that isn't necessarily found in your rock clubs every weekend.
You're not gonna see this stuff hardly anywhere else. Like, not that easily anyway. And to actually see it live and to like participate in it. I mean, I guess you can like go on YouTube or whatever and Google it or whatever, but having the experience of actually interacting with, you know, various speakers and artists and stuff is pretty awesome. And also seeing live performances is always way different than listening to it on, you know, Spotify or iTunes or however people listen to music anymore.
Personally, I'm really excited to see Puddle's Pity Party, who is the sad clown with a golden voice, which sounds ridiculous, but his shows are what I think we need in this time. It's just, they're very like intimate and connecting, and just the human experience, watching this silent clown who is 6'8", singing cover songs of songs that you thought that you knew and just completely transforming them.
Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words, like silent drums.
There's something about it that really speaks to the essence of what it means to be a human, which is kind of weird, but that's Witching Hour.
Touch the sound of silence, and in the naked light I saw